Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest news in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Now, can you tell us about Southern Palladium's $200 million raise to ramp up work at its Bengwenyama PGM project in Limpopo?
Yeah, this is good news. The cash has come in from Australia. You can see that the Australian investors are keen on platinum group metals. They see the future there. The platinum group metals price has risen. I think platinum price is up 90% since the beginning of the year. So the supply side is not great. So that makes it important to come forward with new mines. The shareholders obviously understand that, and I'm sure that the definitive study that's being done now will be assisted by this new cash, and then they've got to reach this final investment decision. It'll be wonderful if that project can go ahead, because it's 30% owned by the community, and we know that community involvement in mining really assists them in a big way.
Now, speaking about community involvement, tell us about Sibanye-Stillwater's commitment to community development projects.
Yes, Sibanye-Stillwater put out a lot of information this week on what they do with the social and labour plans. And they've got a lot of these plans because at each mine you have a social and labour plan. And the work in education has been incredible. The skills development has been really good. And we see agricultural hubs coming through now. So it just focuses around the importance of mining, not only for our exports and the strength of the rand and everything else, but because of these arrangements that mines have with the local community, you get a fantastic build-up there that doesn't often get a high profile. But when they do put out a report, you understand that there are so many of these things happening there, and they really benefit the people that live around these mines, the host communities. And it's not only because it's a social and labour plan that they're forced to do through the legislation, but they normally go beyond what they're required to do, and they make sure that when those mines cease operating, there'll be sustainability there, and people will still be in jobs and still be active economically.
And lastly, smelting continues to test maximum technical capacity at Hillside Aluminium.
Yes, so a lot of eyes are on Hillside Aluminium at the moment. We see that there's a big question mark over Moselle, which is just across the border in Mozambique, because there seems to be a difficulty in renewing that electricity contract, and that comes to an end in March. So it's really, something has to be done there to keep that going. But in the meantime, you see a lot of positive discussion going on between South 32, the operators of this Hillside Aluminium plant, and Eskom. Obviously, they've always received a very good electricity price, and aluminium is really half electricity, so you need a lot of electricity. But there's also the decarbonisation issue now, and we know that Europe was looking very harshly at anything that came in that was made with coal energy or anything like that. So you've got to start looking at that very carefully. The pressure is slightly off at that point at the moment. But at the same time, you've got a hillside here which supports downstream activity. So not only is it producing this aluminium for export, but the other activities in South Africa that they're not directly linked to mining, they are linked to this aluminium coming through so that they can add value to it down the line, and that is very important as well. So the hopes are that this will be able to strengthen, and that the whole electricity challenge will be met, and those 30,000 direct and indirect jobs will be there, and we'll also have this wealth creation.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
Thank you, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news and analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.